morning, everybody, whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world. This is Coast to Coast Friday morning, a lot going on, and no Pags, I guess. It's a rough day for Philly.
I feel like somebody last night, after seeing both their teams go down into the dumpster fire, probably had a conventional party with Brad over there and took a whole bottle of Fuckatol.
Yeah, I get it. But before we break into those,
yes, I'm sorry.
when seeing the success that Dart has had with New York now, does that essentially close the book on Russell Wilson?
100% closed, right? Dead, and buried.
Man, that dude's door was closed the minute he took his first snap. It was just a matter of time before we ushered him out the building. Yeah, that dude's dumb.
It's funny because if Dart would have came in and struggled, I think another team tries him out.
Yeah.
Dart coming in and looking good, because it's not like any other piece. In fact, he has less pieces than Russ did because Neighbors is gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
And as bad as Russ looked, Dart coming in and doing what he's doing, yeah, you have to think that career is a wrap.
And this is kind of what I said about when Dart came in. There were people that wanted me to, like, I did something with a couple of my buddies where we ranked like the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL right now.
Sure.
And I actually put Jackson Dart as number 10. And they were like, how are you putting Jackson Dart number 10 when he hasn't even seen a snap yet? I'm like, the reason why Dable drafted him was because Dable came flat out and said that Jackson Dart reminds him exactly of what Josh Allen was in college. And you saw what Dable did with Josh Allen. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that Dart is anywhere close to Josh Allen yet. But if you have similar qualities and you have a coach that has worked with those similar qualities before, you knew there was something there with Dart. It was just a matter of time before he got the snaps.
But here's the thing here's the thing that puzzles me. And I know we're all on the Jackson Dart train right now because he had a great win. It's the second great game. He's looking great. But when you look at him statistically, he's not like he had the greatest game in the world.
Oh,
we're talking about less than 200 in the air, one touch, one pick. He did give you 50 on the ground and a touch. I mean,
so that's actually not where I was. That's not where I'm going with it. Dart hasn't shown me anything that I'm just like, oh man, that's amazing. Right. For me, he's playing, he's getting enough success out of this team.
Yep.
That's why my question was, does it end Russ's career? Because Dart, he's going to have growing pains. He's going to be all over the place this year. It's part of being a rookie. So,
right.
I wouldn't put him as the top 10.
I just don't think he's done enough yet.
That seems ridiculously premature. But at the same time, watching the way he's able to command this team without his number one receiver versus what Russ was able to do with him. And again, if Dart would have came in and struggled and whatever, I think other teams would take flyers on Russ. Yeah. But now after watching Russ in Denver, and he was okay with Pittsburgh, and then watching him struggle in New York, having the rookie come in and look good, I mean, you have to think it's about done.
I just wonder if a team like the Saints or Carolina might. Oh, trust me. Last night I put out a couple of videos on that one. No, I just feel like, would there be like a team like the Saints or maybe even Carolina that maybe gives them a flyer?
No,
more so on the Saints side of it, since they don't really have a true quarterback. Right?
Carolina sold on Bryce Young. Like, they're not going to give Russell.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. More so the Saints, because they have Rattler and the other guy. I can't remember his name, but
the Saints are really the number one pick. Like, they're not going to bring in a guy in Russell Wilson. They're playing for the number one pick. They're playing more so for their future. And all you needed to know about what the league thinks about Russell Wilson right now, Cincinnati went to get Joe Flacco. They did not even call the Giants about Russell Wilson. They did not even call the Giants about Jameis Winston. They did not even go after Kirk Cousins even. They haven't gone after any of these veteran quarterbacks who have had success for like a decade. The fact that Cincinnati took a statue behind the worst offensive line in football instead of getting a guy like Russell Wilson who at least can move in the pocket a little bit and extend the plays is all you need to know about what the league thinks about Russell Wilson right now.
Yeah, I mean, it sure looks like he's cooked, especially now, because now you have a couple of games with Dart there. And again, I don't think he's top 10 or anything like that. Like I'm not going any outlandish action. It is, he looks competent there. And Wilson looked out of sorts, and Wilson had more weapons. And so that is, and that's exactly it. That's what I'm saying is this is the same team. But what my point is that he's having success where Wilson wasn't. Because even in the loss was bad to the Saints. Like there's no question there.
Yeah, there's no reason.
I think it kind of puts the stamp on it, right? Like where if he were going to struggle, and of course, the Giants beating the Eagles, like there were warning signs, right? This Eagles team has struggled, especially in the second half. They may be the worst looking, 4-1 team coming into last night's game. Like you looked at that record and you're just like, yeah, but the only thing they lead in is points. I mean, they were bottom 5 in just about every other category. Eventually that's going to catch you. Now I took the Eagles in that game, right? Because they kept finding ways to win.
Right.
Well, that's right. That was your suicide pick, wasn't it?
No. But nobody was shocked when they lost. Now I was a little shocked that they got beat up. No, I took the Broncos.
Oh, you took the Broncos. Okay.
The bigger concern though is there is something going on in the Eagles locker room right now, because you had the reports this week that Saquon Barkley said that the offense had a team meeting, as in like Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, and Saquon had a team meeting. And then you have AJ Brown coming out publicly yesterday saying, I don't have any recollection of having a team meeting with Jalen Hurts and Saquon this week.
Yeah.
So what is actually happening right now, and who is actually the correct source at this point? Because you have Saquon, who, from all accounts, I'm going to trust a lot of the things Saquon says because he hasn't given anybody any reason not to trust him. But then you have AJ Brown. It's like, I don't remember meeting with anybody. I'm like, no, I probably didn't even attend.
The thing that's funny is that might have just been his way to get you to stop asking about it. No, I mean, you might be taking what he said too literally. Like that may just be the I don't recall. Let's move on. It is really the way that I look at that. And who knows? Maybe he didn't show up. I wasn't. I have no idea. But
you know what's interesting though, Bo, is the fact that because I know three toes over there was talking about. Let's be real. It's the Giants. Or it's just one game basically. But this is one game. Because I was able. He also beat the damn Chargers too. So I mean, Dart has 2 quality wins.
Yeah, no, I mean, but that is the Giants, right? Like they beat a team they shouldn't. They lost to a team they shouldn't. Like that's the most Giants thing you can do. But it's.
I don't know that Russell would have got those wins.
No, he wouldn't have.
No, probably not. And that's kind of my point. Is you're looking at a team that is functioning with Dart. Beating good teams, and Wilson with the full complement looked terrible. So that's why I'm thinking, this probably really does end his career overall. What's up, Joe?
Oh, yeah, because I think because you're right. I do see your point when you're saying that Dart is getting the most out of the Giants because he really is. Because it's not like he's giving you gaudy numbers. He's not. He didn't hit 200 yards against the Philadelphia. He didn't hit 200 yards against the Chargers. Yeah. But he didn't turn the ball over against the Chargers. And you're right, Bo. It probably is the X factor of getting the most out of your team. Not so much what he's doing, but just how he's able to get the team or what the team is buying into.
But it seems like the team has a little bit of a spark with him out there, too.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the team believes in him a lot more than they believe in Russell Wilson. As in, like,
but isn't that a big thing as a quarterback? Isn't that? I mean, that's like your number one job is to get your team to buy into you. Yeah, because you're the general of the team. I mean, I'm just saying to your point, Bo. I mean, that's all going towards your point. It's not so much what he's doing on the field as what he's doing in the locker room, as what he's doing or how he's energizing his team.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of a complete package The Giants never really seemed to buy into Russ. Then he didn't look that good. And then you have a rookie come out, look better, have better, continuity with the team. Yeah, I mean, like if you're another team and you look at Russell Wilson's arc, his last few years in Seattle, Denver, Steelers, New York, all of a sudden you're just like, yeah, man, like I think I'm probably good. Like,
please tell me that you guys saw the post-game celebration with Cam Scatterbo and Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, of course.
That was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Well, I missed it, so tell me about it.
Hogan.
So Cam Scatterbo just Hulk Hogan rips his shirt off. Ryan Fitzpatrick takes his shirt off, and they chest bump on stage with their hairy bear chests out.
And then give the Ric Flair woo.
No, I missed that part of it. I missed that part of the game, but what a time to be alive, man. I wish Pags was here. I wish Brad was here. Pags, I don't know so much.
Cam Scatterbo and Jackson Dart have officially become the faces of that franchise.
Yeah.
Those are the two players that the Giants are going to now build around for the next 5 years.
See, you got to think if you're Tracy, am I taking a step back now when I do come back to the team after his injury? Now that Scatterbo is kind of asserted.
No, because you still need your number one. Like Malik Neighbors is going to be the Giants' number one, but when you look at how that team's going to be built within whoever the next head coach is, after Daboll's there, because obviously Daboll's not going to be there long term. But whoever the next head coach is, you're going to have Jackson Dart, Neighbors, and Scatterbo are going to be your big three pieces on offense you're going to build around.
Yeah. And Joe, I was hoping to, but we appreciate the fact that you jump over to YouTube when Pags is in here.
Let me just say something else to Joe. Joe, I tell you what, no matter what happens about this whole world that goes down, nobody can say that me and you, Joe, we don't show up every day for all the grilling that they do on the cow turds, all the grilling they do on the Astros and all that stuff. Joe, we're here. We take it. We're real fans. We're real people. But Pags and Brad, they're fair weather fans. When the shit hits the fan, they're the ones that runs out the door, or they show up the last 2 seconds.
Oh, you know, Pags is nursing a hangover because, again, this is this show is early on the West Coast, and that's not something he's used to, right? Because he's
losing is probably something he's used to. He should still be able to get up. Okay, not like the Phillies were always the greatest team in the world. They went to their times.
No. He's just used to sleeping later than right now.
Well, I don't know. Now, he was an old Navy guy. There were times in Pags' life when he was getting up in different time zones. I don't believe that for 1 minute, Bo. Don't you make no excuses for him.
You realize that was 20 years ago, right? Like,
damn civilization got his ass.
I mean, if you don't do something for 20 years, I'm going to go with you're out of practice.
No, seriously though, if I was him in terms of the Eagles, like going back to what y'all guys were saying, I'm worried about this. I'm not personally worried about it, but in a podcasting, I am worried about them because they're so inconsistent right now. I mean, it's weird. So what do you think is going on with this team? Because it's not like AJ Brown or even Dante Smith, how you say that first name, and then Saquon. I mean, they're not. The offense isn't looking like they did last year. Now they did have a period when they did go through. I remember when they were looking like dog water and everybody was giving them a hard time. Tampa was beating them. They were getting beat before they went in the playoffs, but they did pull it together and get the Super Bowl. So
the biggest thing is not having Kellen Moore as the offense.
That's the biggest.
That's the biggest thing is not having Kellen Moore, who actually knows how to call a game consistently.
I mean, we watched this before 2 years ago when they had their epic meltdown after a great.
Yeah, but that's because that was the same situation.
That's what I was referring to was the epic meltdown that they had.
They had Brian Johnson as the OC that year because that was the first year after Shane Steichen left. And Brian Johnson was an OC that probably shouldn't have been promoted to the OC. He just got promoted because he was just there for like a long time beforehand.
So I can get on board with that a little bit, but when you go, 10-1, and then you fall apart and back in, that's not OC. Like that is your players aren't playing.
Yeah.
Like
it's not even just offense. The defense looked bad too. Their defense.
You have enough talent on the roster. There's no way you should just fall apart like that. Certainly, I mean, especially that year because they made Drew Lock look like Joe Montana out there. So I mean, like you can't blame the OC for that. because that part of it's defense. So
I think a lot of it's just the Super Bowl hangover too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
know. No. They started out 4-0 or whatever. They were undefeated. What? All of a sudden now they're going through a Super Bowl hangover?
The thing is you were watching issues with this team despite wins.
Yeah, like they were 4-0, but they never looked like a solid team. Like they were winning games, but they never looked at any point like the team they were last year.
Well, no, I mean, when you think of 2 games ago, they had 0 passing yards in the second half, and they've had things like that all the way through. Yeah. So even in their wins, you're looking at it like, man, this team is really set up to fall apart. When you look at, if you looked at their stats, their offensive stats, right? Mm-hmm. They were top 10 in points scored. They were bottom 5 in passing yards, rushing yards, like literally everything was terrible except for points scored, right? Eventually that's going to get you. If you can't move the ball, your defense is
one for 9 on first down conversions.
Yeah, well, but I mean, the biggest thing is your defense isn't going to always put you in a position to score.
Or third down.
You can't just forget how to play football in the second half of games. Like eventually you're going to get ran over. And we watched the Giants, who we can all agree is not a great team, destroy them on Thursday night.
That's why I brought up like the Super Bowl hangover thing. It's just because that team just does not seem like they're in sync yet. Like they're there. They've shown flashes of they still can be that team, but then they still have more moments where they're just not playing Eagles football.
See, I don't get into the Super Bowl hangover for the Super Bowl winner because that's not generally how that works.
Yeah.
Like the Super Bowl loser, they usually have the hangover that kind of
Chiefs.
I think the other part of that the Philly issue, the offense is definitely having issues, but that defense is having issues. They gave up 172 yards on rushing, but yet they only rushed themselves for 76. So they couldn't run the ball, but they couldn't really do a whole lot with the run either.
Yep.
You know, and I feel like that's another part of that equation is that defense. They drafted a lot of good linebackers in this draft. Mm-hmm. But that secondary, they lost a lot over the offseason in that secondary. And
Brian, you're not wrong, man. It people shape it however they want. It is really funny in that way. And it's interesting because I looked at it actually the opposite direction. I looked at the Lions being okay because of the culture that Dan Campbell has brought there, and the aggressiveness of their offense is predicated on Dan Campbell, not on who the OCs are, right? Like he dictates a lot of that. When you look at Philly, Sirianni needs good help, right? Like he's that general, but not a guy that can jump in the trenches. And so he's not a good scheme guy. He needs his coordinators to be those guys. And so his team really goes the way of what coordinators he has. Yeah. So even though the narrative is like Brian says here, I actually looked at it the opposite direction coming in. It's like, yeah, I think the Lions will be fine. They brought back a lot of their players and everything really is set up by Campbell. Whereas when it came to the Eagles, I thought they'd still be fine because they brought everybody back. I didn't think losing their OC was going to hurt them as much as it has. Although that still gives them no excuse on the defensive side.
No, exactly.
Defense is terrible.
The defense is the biggest shot because I think they still have Vic Fangio, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if and Vic Fangio has been one of the best defensive coordinators in NFL history when it comes to calling games and just getting that defense to play at a certain level.
Yeah.
Well, that's the part that I think is the biggest surprise is you have the same defensive coordinator you had last year. You have pretty much all the same defensive pieces, especially up in the front seven. Mm-hmm. But your defense just looks lost.
Yeah, well, and the offense isn't doing anything either. I mean, it's crazy how bad they're playing when you look at the roster. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I can't buy into the hangover thing. Like this is just them not executing, plain and simple.
Yeah.
I mean, and then they tear off and run 4 tush pushes in a row.
What the hell?
They were trying to get some.
I saw that. I was thinking about, do we go from football to rugby?
They were trying to get some confidence.
Scrums are the new version of the NFL.
You know, it's the thing that's funny is if there was ever a sequence that might potentially get that play banned, it's that one right there. When they go into the league office at the end of the season and they watch them run 4 in a row to pick up a first down and then score, that might be the sequence that gets that play banned.
Yeah. Just love it yesterday because Joe was saying, if the Eagles lose and the Phillies lose, that will make my night. Joe, I know you had a good night. Joe, I just want to know, did you actually have some vino for the first time? I know you had to drink a little bit of vino with that kind of success rate.
He doesn't drink wine, man.
Oh, that's my point.
Come
the fact that he got that success rate, I thought he might cross the line and have a little snort.
Yeah, you know, maybe some rum or something, but you know, the thing that's funny that you say here, do they get rid of Sirianni? Probably not, but the one thing we do know is Philly is not bashful about moving on. Think of Doug Peterson, right? He was 2 years removed from a Super Bowl win, and they're like, yeah, kick rocks. So, there you go. Opened a bottle. Bam, let's go.
I knew he did. Ain't no way, Jay. Hey, ain't no way he ain't drinking no vino. I agree with you, though.
Lost too. Yeah, I mean, it was a bad day for Philly. It was a bad day for Philly. Did their hockey team play, or did they have a night off?
I think their hockey team played last night, I believe, too.
Did they? Yeah, because I mean, ours did. Most teams kicked off, over the last.
I think everybody that had not had a game played last night because all the NHL has a universal off day today, so there's no hockey games today.
Oh, okay. So yeah, then they would.
The Panthers beat the Flyers 2-1. So I mean, that you can live with because the Panthers are the defending Stanley Cup champs. So
what it means is they went 0 for 4.
Yeah.
Every major sport, and then the way the Phillies went down, we might as well talk about the baseball game now. The way the Phillies went down was impressive because it was on an error that didn't need to happen in extras. And
I put a video about that. Laces out, Dan. Why are you not throwing to first base? What are we doing?
What a terrible way to go down.
He's a pitcher. He didn't even throw it like straight to him. He looked like a little 4-year-old kid learning how to play baseball for the first time. And he goes like that. The ball goes like 8 yards that direction. Like what even goes to his glove? It was like some way over here.
Yeah. No, I mean, you've seen that happen quite a few times though, where
not
the normal throwing motion for the pitcher. It's wild. I mean, you've seen pitchers miss the first baseman plenty of times.
Yeah.
It's why so many of them will run over and then like underhand it to them. They're super accurate off the bump, and then
I can't get a wind up in. I don't have no time to get a wind up in. Here's the ball.
Yeah, like off the bump, they're great, and then as soon as they have to make any other kind of throw, it's just like, who were you throwing to, man?
Right, that's why John Lester never threw over to first because he couldn't do it.
Yeah, no, that's a thing. Like a lot of times it'll go like over his head or around him, or and so that's exactly what happened on that one. Throwing home there. It's just like, oh, okay. I mean, wow, what a terrible way to go down though. Yeah, Dragon Harbor. Pretty much. Yeah, no, it's a rough go if you are a Philly fan. So yeah, there is that.
I gotta imagine this must have been the look on Philly when it happened. Like you heard something like this. I can't believe this happened.
I would bet that there was a lot of that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, every Philly fan, whether they were in the building or not, were probably sitting there like, what just happened?
I want to say, there's not a better, classier organization than anything that's related to Philly for that matter. What a time. I'm so glad this happened. I got to tell you, I'm really glad this happened because they don't deserve it, because they don't have no class. No class.
I mean, that escalated quickly, but okay.
No class.
Jesus, Jay.
No, I'm not going to be easy because we all know that. Look, even Philly said last night, even he said, or yesterday on the show, don't go up to the 700 level, the vet center, because you'll get your. No, that's not classiness. You're right. If you're in Dallas, Houston, anything Texas related, it is a beautiful day. It's so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So beautiful.
Man.
They were ready for this. And I'm sure Brad wasn't here because I had a whole lot of one-line zingers for him. But
Brad wouldn't have showed up anyway. You know, honestly, even if Pags was here and it was on his Facebook, which is the only way Brad shows up, he wouldn't have shown up. It would have been another one where he
comes in at 9:59. Hey,
that's exactly it. Right? Just before I hit the outro video, it's like, oh, hi guys. I don't want to get barbecue.
That's so he can't say that I did show up. That's why he did it, just so he can say he was there.
Yep. Yeah, he's like, I don't want to get barbecued by the panel. Hi guys, I'm out. Yep. So,
man, wait, where is, just out of curiosity, I'm assuming Philadelphia Eagles are still in first place. I had to look at the standings. I don't think Washington caught
right now, yes, but if the Commanders beat the Bears on Monday, then the Commanders go to first, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because then they should be the same record.
They're both 4-2, but the Commanders have the better division record, just because I don't think the Commanders have played a game in the division yet. No, they have. Did they play the Giants?
I'm double checking.
Because I think if they did, they played the one game against the Giants, which they have the win, and the Eagles are now 1-1 in their division because they lost to the Giants. So the Commanders just have the division record, so they would leapfrog Philly for first place if they beat the Bears on Monday.
Yeah, you're correct. 1-1 the division, 3-1 the conference.
Yeah. So the Commanders would take over first place with the win on Monday.
Yeah, I mean, as it sits right now, the Commanders look like the better team. So
yeah, I didn't realize that. So now the Phillies have, or not the Phillies, the Eagles have lost 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, losing to Denver, you can live with, even though it was at home and it was an ugly way to lose. But at least Denver's a respectable team that made the playoffs last year. Like, Denver's a team that you can live with losing to. Losing to the Giants at home is like, they're not losing to the Giants on the road. It's just like one of those, like, it's like, oh, that's just not.
No, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying I love to see a trend in that direction because
it's been trending that way.
Trend, yeah,
it's been trending that way. They are lucky to have beaten the Rams. Like, it's been trending that way for like a month now.
Because you're right. Because hey, if old boy doesn't get that block, Carter doesn't get that block. Yeah,
even against Dallas on that season opening win, the Eagles won 21-20.
That was only a one possession.
That game, there wasn't really much. The only good game the Eagles really had start to finish was the second game of the year.
And even that wasn't really, when you think about it, because KC didn't have any of their stars.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Like, that's like the only game where,
and that was a 20-17. So it's not even like that was some great win.
The Chiefs got the late touchdown though with like a minute left, where they had to kick the onside kick to try to win it. So like the Eagles were up by 10 points, but that was like really the only game where I think as an Eagles fan you felt comfortable.
Right.
The Dallas game you weren't comfortable. The Rams game, you definitely weren't comfortable, and then you lost these last 2 games where,
I mean, they were a couple plays away from having a terrible record.
They're a couple plays away from being 1-4.
Yeah,
1-5.
I'm just wondering how many, like you said, I guess realistically, if the Commanders get the win this week, then that would put them, I guess, with a tie with the Eagles, right?
No, they'd be tied, but they would have the tiebreaker.
No, they're going to be in first place, but I'm saying, their records will be the.
Yeah,
they'll be fine. That means, if the Washington keeps trending with Jaden Daniels the way they're trending, then they could easily take over that division and put Philly in the number 2 spot.
Well, the other thing that you got to keep in mind with that is Washington's 2 losses was because Jaden Daniels wasn't in the game.
Yep. Exactly.
The Eagles have had their full complement of players, and they haven't looked very good.
Yeah.
Now, again, they've found ways to win up until these last 2 games. So, but yeah, I mean, they haven't looked sharp yet. Like, not in a single game where you're like, oh yeah, this is that team.
So if we're playing Nostradamus just for a second, if they don't resurrect or get past these issues, I gotta imagine I still think they get in the playoffs as a wild card, but I don't think they get all the way to the Super Bowl and repeat if they don't fix their situations. I mean, what do you think the likelihood of because it's not like they can't. We're young in this season. They got plenty of time to get their shit together.
Even if they have enough wins, that's true.
Yeah, even if they do fix all of the issues that is wrong with their team right now, I still think Detroit's the team to beat in the NFC right now.
For sure.
I mean, of course.
That's why. Like, even if the Eagles do fix their issues, which they're going to have to fix their issues, even fixing their issues, they're not a better team than Detroit right now. So it's going to be
that's not what the thing is.
It's going to be the same situation as last year. I feel where for the Eagles to get back to the Super Bowl, they either need home field in the playoffs or they're going to need Detroit to lose so they can get that home game in the NFC Championship game. Because if they have to go to Detroit to get to
But how do you fix that, though? Because obviously there's an issue with the offensive coordinator. I think we've all talked about that. So if they don't get that offensive coordinator, how long do you think before Sirianni steps in and
that's not their issue, though, because
they have defensive issues too, but
the OC has nothing to do with the fact that they're not good on special teams and they're not good on defense. And I mean, this is a complete team not being very good for most of football games. And so, then that has to be just coaching staff in general, right? Like that's not an OC or DC or anything like that. Like that's head coaching, getting their guys on the same page.
Yeah, it's going to be more so. I don't think anything is done yet, just because we're only 6 games into the season, so we're just a third of the way through.
Yeah, nobody's getting fired. Like you're 4-2.
Yeah, but if the offensive struggles though continue into about week 10, week 11, then I would not be shocked to see Sirianni make a change. Because at that point now you're over the halfway point. You're starting to get into that spot in the season where you're thinking playoffs. You're thinking like positioning yourself for the best possible seed, where if their offense is still playing that poorly in week 10, week 11, I wouldn't be surprised if Sirianni makes a change or takes the play calling away from the OC and then he does it.
So
I think that was more what I was getting. It was a play calling.
Yeah, but that still doesn't fix your defense.
No, it does not. It doesn't.
Like changing your OC, what does that do? Because I mean, it's not like you're going to find a better DC than Fangio.
Yeah.
Especially in the middle of the season, right? So this isn't. I don't see this as necessarily your coordinator.
My thing with the defense is you're right. It's not Fangio because Fangio got to the Super Bowl. I mean, let's not forget that. But they did have a good, sizable turnover on that damn defense. They lost a lot of secondary. They lost Sweat, and yes, they did replace it with a lot of linebackers. They drafted a lot of linebackers in the draft. But I don't think I think they lost too much out of that secondary and on that defense. And I think that's the biggest thing.
I mean,
that's the only thing that changed was some of the players that they lost and players that they added. You're right. The scheming didn't change. The coordinator didn't change.
Well, it's not even like they lost a crazy amount of players.
Well, yeah, they lost what? I want to say it was like 4 players off of that defense that I could think of.
Yeah, it was a couple of linebackers and a corner. Like, I mean, like
a couple of linebackers, a corner. I think was Sweat. I think he was a defensive end. I think
edge rusher.
Yeah. So I mean, like that's not like destroying a defense.
Yeah. That's not destroying it, but it can be a difference though, because you are changing the experience level of some of those players.
I mean, outside of some great special teams play, they definitely lose at least 2 more of those games because of the way they've played everywhere else. So the Rams certainly would have beat them, right? Because they were on the doorstep to, have the go-ahead kick, and Eagles get a block or return it for a touchdown, game over, right? Yes. But that was great special teams play, especially in that game where they blocked multiple kicks. And, so it's just, exactly. That's just making the defense younger. They didn't really get worse. So, I mean, like this is just head coaching and player buy-in not happening. And I mean, literally, it's weird. It's weird because they just came off a Super Bowl run that there is an apparent dissension in the ranks that doesn't make any sense.
Right. I don't know. I just think that team, I think they're going to figure it out eventually.
They're going to have to because
it's not that they don't have an easy schedule. I think they're going to figure it out eventually. The question is, are they going to figure it out quick enough to win that division again? Or is it going to be more so once they've realized that, oh crap, the Commanders have a 2-game lead with 5 games left. We should just play for the wild card at this point and just figure it out.
Or does that thing start to spiral out of control? I mean, if you are having issues where you think players need to have a meeting and you had 4 wins already, right? You were 4-1 and they're like, oh, we need to have a meeting. Like that doesn't inspire confidence. Usually when you're having those meetings, you're like, okay, we're 1-4. We need to have a meeting and try and get back on track if we're going to have any, chance of making the playoff run or anything like that, right? Because, if you're 1-4 right now, the odds of you making the playoffs pretty low, right? But they were 4-1, and they're like, "Oh, we need to have a meeting. We're not on the same page." It's like, man, that doesn't say good things.
Yeah, and it's not like the Eagles have the easiest schedule either between now and the end of the season. I mean, they got a lot of playoff caliber teams they got to go through. And the funny thing is, they play Minnesota next week, and then they go, and then they host the Giants. So I wonder how that next Giants game is going to go, because there's got to be some sort of a revenge game for Philly.
I mean, the thing is they're not playing team football.
No, they're not.
And that's tough to overcome, especially as you start to stack losses, because winning cures a lot of stuff.
It
but
does.
When you are already not on the same page and there's issues within the locker room, and then you start losing, it just magnifies those issues. And so, I mean, if they don't get a handle on this right away, this thing could really implode. Obviously for shows like this, awesome. But if you're a Philly fan, like that's something you want to see them put an end to this coming week, because otherwise this thing could spiral out of control.
Very easily, because and the crazy thing is they still got to go through Detroit and Green Bay.
Sure. Well, I mean that's part of
the
being
Chargers. I mean, this team is, like you said, if they don't figure it out quick, this is a team that can go down quick.
Well, I mean that's part of winning a Super Bowl is you get one of the hardest schedules. Like that's just how it is. And then if you happen to be terrible, you get a lighter schedule. Generally,
I just don't I don't understand that or believe in that philosophy, even though it is true, because you look at the division itself. Everybody in the NFC East plays the exact same schedule, 14 of your 17 games. It's those three different games that ultimately makes the schedule like from the hardest to the easiest. But like when people say, "Oh, this team has the hardest schedule and this team has the easiest schedule," I'm like, I don't buy into that at all, because every team in the division plays the same schedule for 14 games. It's just those three other games that are the difference. So it's like if the Eagles will go 10-2 against like this, or 10-4 or whatever against those 14 games, and the other teams in that division are going 9-5, it's just like they're playing the same schedule. Like you should be winning the games you should win.
Yeah, but if you have that harder schedule and you drop those three games can keep you out of the playoffs.
No, it can keep you out of the playoffs. But that's why I never look at like the strength of schedule when they do all these like, oh, this team has the easiest schedule, this team has the hardest schedule, and vice versa. It's like you're playing the exact same schedule for the most part.
I understand what you're saying within the division, but there are schedules that are easier than others. Now, when you looked at Seattle's schedule this year, now you had no idea that somehow the South divisions were going to have 4-4-1 or 3-4-1 teams right now. But going into the season, I was like, yeah, we play both South divisions. This is going to be awesome. And now I'm looking at it like, well, man, oops. Like, and you're right. I don't understand this at all. Not giving Saquon touches. You watch Baltimore do the same thing with Derrick Henry. Every time they lose, he has 16 or less carries. And you're just like, I feel like if all of us see that tape, how are they not seeing that tape?
It's
because
like
every time he has 20 carries, they win. And every time he has 16 or less, they lose. Personally, I'd be like, oh, you know what? How about we give him 4 more touches? Like if I'm sitting there in the third quarter and he has 15, it's like, okay, we're going to give him the ball some more.
Yeah, it's like
I don't know how you have a stud running back, but you play him like he's less than a stud.
It's like they're trying to prove
for a stud doesn't make sense unless your defense is so bad and you're just behind the power curve in terms of points. There's no reason you should go away from the run.
Yeah. It's like they're trying to prove a point. Like it's like, oh, we can win by running the football. But all these teams are saying that that's all we do. So let's stop running the football and show that we can win without running the football. Well, guess what?
And that's why I said Harbaugh is potentially on the hot seat, because the last 2 exits from the playoffs, they just didn't use the running backs. Yeah. And then you look at him this year, and now we're having more coaching issues in the way of ball security, right? Sure. That's a coaching thing. When you're looking at players that are out of position on the defense, that's a coaching thing. Like I understand that they don't have the dudes that they generally do, which means they need to be more disciplined. When you look at the amount of penalties that they're having, that's coaching. That's discipline within the group. So the things that we're watching out of Baltimore, that's why I'm like, oh, he's probably heating his own seat up, because the things that are causing them to lose games are coaching problems.
Yeah, I think Derrick Henry would have done much better had he played for Jim Harbaugh with the Chargers, because they love to run the ball, and that dude would have been all over the place running the ball. I mean, Harbaugh, a great scheme for him to be in. That would have been a great scheme. And also, because it's not like Herbert is like this great running quarterback like Lamar, so you don't have to worry about him eating into your yardage. It's all about you. And so with a guy like Derrick Henry, it'd be perfect.
That's the thing that really just is the head scratcher for the Ravens. When you look at them over the last couple of years, they're the number one rushing team.
Yeah. Oh, for sure they are.
And then when it matters,
they
stopped running the ball. Yeah. And you're just like, what? Like, it's lean into the thing you're good at. If they stop you, then change. Don't preemptively change what you're good at. Yeah. That doesn't make any sense at all.
It does. No, it doesn't. That's why I thought it was kind of funny when, like you said, I think a lot of times Lamar does more running than he does.
Well, but they've sort of limited his designed runs.
Yeah,
a lot of his runs now are scrambling runs.
Yeah.
But,
the only design runs he has are typically like third and
exactly.
Third and three.
That's Lamar calling his own number.
That's third and three, he takes a snap and goes right away. Like, those are like the only design runs he has. Now it's like he runs when the pocket collapses, or he rolls out, doesn't find anybody, then he tucks and goes.
Exactly.
Otherwise, it's like his first 2 years in the league, he was 8 to 10 design runs a game. Like,
he was a runner.
Now it's like 1, maybe 2 design runs per game, and it's always the same situation where it's like 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. Derrick Henry's not in the game. I'll just tuck it and go get my 7-8 yards for the first.
And that one, that last piece right there, that is what's really just the head scratcher as well. Yeah. You have Derrick Henry, which means they're going to have at least 2 guys to shade him, because if he gets the ball, you need 2 guys to bring him down. Right, because
that's the most frustrating part too. Is like Derrick Henry is a monster human being, like an absolute monster human being. 3rd down and 4 for Derrick Henry is the equivalent to 3rd down and 1 for every other running back.
No, and that's where I was going. Is they were on the 3 going into the end zone. Derrick Henry was not on the field for the final sequence at all. Like the last few plays, he was just not on the field. That doesn't make any sense to me, because even if you weren't going to go his route,
decoying it.
Yeah, you put him out there because they have to respect the fact that he's on the field. Yep. You don't have him out there, all of a sudden that defense gets to play way looser because they don't have to worry about it. Your backup running back, although still a good running back, you don't have to dedicate 1 to 2 linebackers to come in and plug the hole, because the guy just isn't huge like that. He's not going to plow through the line the way Derrick Henry can. So when they are going into the end zone, it's 2nd down, you're on the 3. Those last plays, you're not going to have Derrick Henry. Like, that doesn't make any sense. No. You could be reading Football for Dummies, and it'd be like, Derrick Henry, you have him on the field. Like,
hey,
I agree with you.
Bro, I hate to say this reference. So, the Football for Dummies book wasn't in Pete Carroll's vocabulary when Marshawn Lynch didn't get the ball at the 1-yard line.
So the thing is that was a different scenario, because he was on the field, and we had to have 1 pass play.
Yeah.
We had 1 timeout. It was 2nd down. If you're going to use all 4 downs, one of them had to be a pass play. And when you think of a slant, you're thinking worst case scenario, it's an incomplete pass, right? Which stops the clock. Malcolm Butler makes a hell of a play.
He does.
And we actually watched him make that a couple of different times after that in his career as well, reading the exact same play. So he was able to dial in on that play like no other DB I've ever seen. Yeah. But one of the plays had to be an incomplete pass, whether it was that one or the next down. 2nd or 3rd down had to be.
I would have went 3rd down for the pass and just try to force it in 2nd down and see what happens.
Yeah, well, so I mean, and you could have done that, but then if you take a sack there, game's over also. Yeah. So I get the appeal of throwing on that down, right? Because if you catch it, it's a touchdown. Yeah. And you're thinking worst case, incomplete pass, no big deal. And the clock stops. Then you have back-to-back running plays because you have 1 timeout, and then 4th down. It just is what it is, right? So had they ran it there, they would use their timeout, and then you'd have to, rely on Russ to not get a sack there. And, he did get a few of those. But no, so I mean, like, I'm not saying it was a great play because obviously it wasn't. Like, it went the wrong direction. But one of them needed to be a pass play because you just didn't have the timeouts available.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas for the, Ravens there was no reason to not have Derrick Henry out there. Like, you could have ran 3 running plays in a row. You had the time, you had the timeouts. Like, you could have done those things. And for some reason, they're just like, there's a spot on this bench over here that maybe you should heat up. Like, it just doesn't.
I guarantee. Hey, listen. If I'm within the 5-yard line or even the 10-yard line, my studs are going to be out there. That's the most important time. Like you said, if nothing else, using them for decoys to open up other parts of the game.
That's exactly.
I get that. I totally get that.
Like, your playmakers have to be on the field.
Yeah, that's what I'm paying you for. Yeah, all this damn money you're on, you gonna be out there, killer.
That would be like you're lining up and you have Jerry Rice in his heyday. You're telling me that you're like, okay, this is obvious. We're probably going to run. You're not going to at least put Jerry out there just because you know that the corner is going to stay out and a safety is going to shade him, right? Mm-hmm. So you pulled, and maybe it is going to be a running play, but they have to respect the fact that you might decoy it and throw him the ball because Jerry's that dude. Derrick Henry's that dude. You can't not have him on the field. Like, it just, not having your playmakers on the field when it matters in crunch time is horrible play calling.
Yep.
I'll tell you, if I was a GM of that team, I'll probably ask Harbaugh. I'd bring Harbaugh to my office and say, let's have a conversation about this.
Well, yeah, because then you're like,
what was the thought process?
Was this you? Was this your OC? Like, what is happening here? Because whatever is happening here cannot happen anymore.
Yeah. No, seriously, I mean, yeah, because, I mean, if you're the GM, that would be the first thing in my mind is, we're going to have a conversation about this one.
Yeah.
This just doesn't make sense. Like you said, if everybody else, if all of us on the panel know that, and these dudes do it for a $mega living, you can't not think that they don't know. Because otherwise, that's just malpractice on their end of it.
What's up, Dave? I mean, that's the thing, right? Is when I'm watching tape and I'm breaking things down, I'm like, there's no way that these guys that are making millions of dollars a year to do this aren't seeing this.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, if I have access to all 22, I have to assume so do they.
And if you're Derek, are you not talking to the coach after the game being like, Coach, what the fuck, man? What am I doing here?
Derek's never been that kind of guy. That is one thing I do respect the hell out of Derrick Henry. Like, even when Derrick Henry was at his prime with Tennessee, where you could have all 11 guys in the box and he would still rip off a 20-yard run just because you couldn't stop him for a good 5 or 6 years with Tennessee. Yep. He was never a player that was going to complain about getting touches or not. And that's still how he's going to be. Like, he knows
man. Is that really somebody you? I don't want a passive running back.
He's not passive, though. He's not passive. He's just not someone that's going to create drama or create rift in the locker room.
He is a team guy.
Yeah, so I love that about him.
He is every bit of that guy that I'm going to give you everything on every play. Yeah. But I am going to play with whenever the scheme is. Some days it's my day, some days it's not.
I love that about him.
Scheme dictates.
I don't know. I still buying the William Gigante off of the replacements. Winners always want the ball. Always.
Obviously he wants the ball, but he's not going to give me the ball.
The competitor to me is if I'm Derrick Henry and you're on the damn goal line and I'm not in the game, I'm all about the scheme, but I also need to have a conversation because maybe I'm not on the same page. Why am I not in the damn game?
No.
I don't get that.
Like that one legitimately, I would have been asking that question too. But
I'm not saying every play, Bo, but what I'm saying when you're in a critical situation like that and I'm not on the field, the competitor in me wants to be on the field.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but he's not going to be one of the guys that's going to create drama or anything like that.
Like apparently not.
He's never been that way. Like, he's not even in college. He was never that way. Like, he's never going to he's never going to go up to the coach and be like, 3rd and goal on the 1-yard line, you should be giving me the ball. Like, that's not him. He'll just be like, just kind of sit there and just let the game dictate itself. Like, he's one of the very few athletes that in the NFL that's not going to create drama when it comes to him not getting the ball. Like, he knows he's the best running back on that field. He knows that he's the best short yardage option on that field. But if the coach isn't calling the play, he just lets the coaches coach and he just plays. That's how he's always been.
Yeah, I'm not saying you got to go out there and be a drama maniac. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying if I want a competitor in me, I'm not saying you got to go there and yell at the coach and say that, but I want to say, hey, coach, why am I not in the game? You're on the 3-yard line. You're paying me a lot of money. This is what I do. Why am I not on the damn? That's what I'm saying. I would be wanting an explanation because the competitor in me wants to say, yeah, you're right. There's a professional way to go about it. I'm not saying they're going to be professional. But if I know who I am and you know who I am and I'm not on the field, that's a damn problem. That's a problem.
Yeah, well. So, Bo, let's get back to baseball for a little bit.
Okay.
Who wins tonight? Who wins tonight for you guys?
And yeah, so I think we can win. I feel less confident about it, and only because of the way we lost.
And the other thing, too, is I just don't know if you guys can beat Scooble 4 times in 1 year. You're 3-0 against Scooble right now. Beating him 4 times in 1 year that's a tall order. Yeah,
I mean, and I'm with you. Like, my homer in me is picking Seattle here. But when I'm really analyzing this thing, it's the way that they lost, right? So our starting pitching has been able to hang in every single game, right? Starting pitching has not been the issue. It's been our relief that has been, and really middle relief has been the biggest issue. Vargas, if you are watching this game, please miss the bus to the game. Like, that is really the thing. And yeah, of course, your homer is taking the Tigers. And what we've seen is that this game honestly can go either way because we're through 4 games. The point differential is 1 run.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody can win this. But I'm going to go with Seattle can. Starting pitching can hang with anybody.
Is it a Kirby again today?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's Kirby versus Scooball.
Yeah,
well,
no, like it's going to be
it's a given.
It's going to be a fantastic game. Yeah. There's no question. It's just going to be whether or not Vargas comes in and is Vargas, right? Because
is there ever time to develop a blister on a finger? This is the time to do it.
Or his
he slipped getting out of the shower and broke a toe.
I mean, I wasn't trying to get him hurt. I was just thinking maybe his Uber takes him to Tacoma.
No, you don't have to get him. You don't have to get him hurt. You can just make up the injury and say,
"I got to try to get concussion." I'm just saying, let's get a blister. It'll be gone in a week.
So, the funny thing about this is we're talking about the Mariners. But at the same time, I feel like some of the Seahawks could probably outthrow Vargas right now. So, I'm fine with that.
Darnold, you have been elevated. You are now a baseball player. Here's your glove. Please see the secretary. She'll take care of all the other arrangements.
I would trust Darnold in middle relief over Vargas right now. So
Milroe, no, Milroe. You sit down. You're still in development. But come on ahead, Darnold. Let's go.
And yeah, I mean, Vargas has been kind of rough all season, and he's been terrible in this postseason. So, yeah.
I'm taking Tigers on this one.
That being said, I do think this is that game that can go either way.
I agree.
I will say that I hope Major League Baseball took some major notice last night because with that lockout looming, Banana Ball put themselves on the map yesterday. They sent the message to Major League Baseball basically saying, I hope you go into a lockout because if you do, we are going to be taking over baseball.
What now?
So Banana Ball had so this year they put 2 more teams in Banana Ball this year. So now you went from 4 teams to 6 teams. They brought in a team from Indianapolis and a team from Florida.
Okay.
So you have 6 teams. But the league now is completely different than what it has been. So this year the Banana Ball is doing what they call the Banana Ball Championship League. So
what is Banana Ball? I apologize.
It's the league that Savannah Bananas playing. Like they call their league Banana Ball just because it's what they do. So they have the Banana Ball Championship League now where all 6 teams will play throughout the summer. The top 4 teams will advance to basically a playoff where you'll just
They're basically making it more like baseball rather than
yes.
Globetrotters.
But what the Banana Ball did last night, they had a 3-hour schedule release yesterday where all 6 teams announced their home schedule for the season. So now you have the Texas Tailgaters, who's one of the new teams that came into the league. They're playing games at Kyle Field in Texas A&M with 100,000 people. They're going to Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee for 100-some thousand people. Like you have Florida State, Doak Campbell Field. Like all these teams now are going to these college football NFL venues. All 6 teams are playing a minimum of 5 games in Major League Baseball stadiums. So now, like, not only are the Savannah Bananas creating like an actual league by adding more teams, they're doing a scheduled release to basically show that we're going all over the place. This isn't just like a couple weekends a month now where all 6 teams go to one city and they're playing games over the weekend. There is over 210 cities that these games are going to be played in. All these teams are going to be in different cities for the weekend. So, like, you could have the Bananas and one team in this city. You could have 2 other teams in this city. You could have 2 other teams in this city. It's all going to be standings based by the end of the year. And if baseball does go into the lockout, that just opens the door for the Bananas to be like, no Major League Baseball? All right, 30 Major League Baseball ballparks. We'll play all of our games in all 30 of these parks during the year.
Yeah.
How did we? That's a good segue. I don't know how you segue so easily into Banana Ball. What is we're talking about the Seattle next minute? We're talking about Banana Ball and 3 teams and 2 teams. Like, what the hell?
No. You can always count on Stat Guy to
I'm just saying I missed that transition. I guess.
Jay, you have to go and watch them play. They have at least.
I did. I lived 5 minutes from their damn stadium before you even knew who the hell Banana was.
No, but now they have like
I was talking to the owner. I would talk to the owner on a damn near daily basis because I mean it was like 5 minutes from my house. I would always be there because the way Banana was or Grayson Stadium was, there's a track that goes around it or a dirt track, and I used to run that dirt track every day. And I would stop by the stadium and I go and talk with that guy. I know who you're talking about. I was there before you even knew who they were.
Now
and if you were trying to bet on a weird prop that Stat Guy brings, you can use the QR code right here for Bet Us. 125% of your first 3 deposits, 10% bet guarantee, in case you follow his advice. And so use the QR code right there. Bet alongside us here on Coast to Coast. And if you're in the Pacific Northwest, use the QR code on the screen. Free 5-day pass at any of the 3 locations: Bellevue, Ballard, University Village, Pilates Boot Camp, Yoga Bar, and more. Find your edge at True Fusion Gym.
Hey, real quick, Stat Guy, since you brought up Bananas and Savannah and all that, have you ever been to Savannah? Stat Guy bringing up get him, Jay.
The only reason why I brought this up is because of the impending lockout.
Yeah,
and that's the only reason why I brought it up, and that's why I brought it up because I wanted to watch that schedule release last night to kind of see what their plan was going forward, because last year it was pretty much a lot of minor league ballparks yet, and then every now and then you would see them go to a football stadium. So I kind of wanted to see what the plan was after that, but now to see them in 21 NFL stadiums, 10 college football stadiums, 15 Major League Baseball stadiums next year, they are hoping that Major League Baseball does go into a lockout, because if nobody's going to be occupying any of those 30 baseball seasons for a year, that just gives the Savannah Bananas free access to all 30 of these Major League stadiums for the whole summer. And they can be like, we're just going to use your stadiums all summer. Like, we'll get away from
it. Have you ever been to Savannah before?
Yeah, I have.
I like that you're basically saying the Savannah Bananas are Spirit Halloween, and they're just going to take over everything because it's an empty building. I like where that is. That being said, that does get us to the end of the show. If you are watching along, be sure to like and subscribe. Helps us bring our content to you. Otherwise, we are going to get out of here. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Lots of sports going on, and we'll see you all Monday morning.
Brad, how you like this now?